What are we talking about today? Can you hear that? Celeste has very clear ears, and she's got really good hearing, so she knows that the dishwasher is on at the moment. You can tell, can't you, sweetheart? I just want to say, to begin with, the very first thing is none of what I say is to upset or offend anybody. So if it does, clearly there's something in there that may have triggered you and you felt a little bit of sensitivity around what I said, but please understand that my intention is not to upset you about this topic, because I think it's really good to know that hey, that sometimes there are struggles people have and they don't know the answer. And when they don't know the answer, they think there's something wrong with them, or they think that they'll never be able to change it and their life is controlled by others. And I want to tell you that absolutely not. Your life is not controlled by anyone but yourself. So if you really want to make a change and a difference in your life, then you need to start by listening to solutions which actually involve just you, not everybody else. Nobody else matters, okay? Hello, you guys. I hope you think that I'm rocking this blue lip color just like I do. I'm so happy to be wearing a bold lip color because it just brings out the best in what I'm going to say to you guys today. How I'm feeling is just vibrant, and I am ready to talk to you guys about the importance of starting a business. And I know that this might be quite confronting to a fair amount of you. You may be stuck in a position where you're working a full-time job or even a part-time job. It doesn't have to be full-time, and you've done that for so long that starting something new is going to take a long time to get used to, and you're just not really sure if you're ever going to be able to take that first step and make the decision to be open to challenges and risks. I think that any job really does have its risks and it does have its challenges, but it depends on what you are willing to do with your life and what's really important to you. It helps me organize what I'm going to talk to you about in steps rather than a whole overwhelming load of information, because you may be sitting down to listen to me and this is not a video that you can listen to once. You might have to take the time to listen to it again, watch it again, and take a deep breath and know that this is not going to be something that happens overnight. You're not going to make these changes overnight, and you're not going to understand this overnight. It may be that the first time you hear me talking, it makes you really aggravated because you don't think that this is good for you, and yet you're watching this video because you want the change and you just don't know how. Let's start off with reasons why people do start a business. Okay, that's really a big step right there. So for me, it's going to help by giving you my example of my life. Before I started a business, I was working a full-time job in childcare. There was safety. I felt the security of knowing I was going to receive money every 2 weeks. It was a fortnightly pay. I had to conform, so I would wear a uniform. At the beginning, I didn't wear a uniform. I think it was later on in the years that I was working in childcare that they did actually incorporate uniforms, because if you were going out with a group of children, it was difficult for people to recognize who was the educator if you didn't have a uniform. So that's all well understood for working in childcare. That makes sense. But as you can tell by my channel, I'm not a type of person who wears the same thing all the time. I don't like to. So if you're not used to that, then obviously it's not going to be easy. And for me, when I am out and about, I want people to know me for me, not the uniform that I wear. Another thing about a full-time job is there are set times for different activities and experiences. You need to fall into the timing of everybody else in the workplace. Okay, so it's not all about you, it's about everybody else, making sure that you know what time so-and-so has a break, you know what time this person is expected to come to work, what time they finish. There's a lot, right? And on top of that, it's not just making sure that you're doing the job of looking after the children. Now, I know I'm talking about childcare, but that was the job that I did. So if you're in a different industry, this may not make a lot of sense because you haven't been through what I've been through, but maybe some of it will make a little bit of relation to what you're going through. So there's so many different tasks that are done with a full-time job. For me, I was working most of the time 9 to 5 was the regular shift. Actually, I take that back. I had shifts that were 9 till 6. I take that back. There were shifts that were 9:30 to 6, 8 till 5, 7:45 to 4:45, or 7:30 to 4:45. Start again. 7:30 to 4:45. They were known as the early, the middle, and the late shifts. And that was something that to do the job really well, I would have to make sure that I was there on time and I left as soon as, that shift was over. Obviously, with full-time work, you do get the option of staying back longer and getting paid overtime. But you always have to have a really great reason for being paid overtime. And the other thing is, working in childcare, there was a fair bit of protesting. I'm not going to go into detail with that, but childcare workers felt like they were being underpaid. Now, why would I start a business? A business is a different thing altogether. If you're not ready for a business, then maybe this is what you need to hear today. The reasons that people consider starting a business is because they feel like they have a greater purpose. Now, I understand that if you're working a full-time job and you've done it for so long, you feel it's rewarding, you're getting paid what you feel happy with, you're getting the holidays that you expect, the sick leave, the annual leave, you name it, it's all good stuff, then maybe that is your purpose. But there are people out there who do full-time jobs because they really feel like there's no other choice. So they fall into this pattern of, I get up, I go to work, I come home, I cook dinner, and I go to sleep. And that's it. There's no in-between time for them to do what they actually want to do. They feel like their whole life is devoted to that job, on top of working on weekends, which is something that I started doing with my last job. I was actually going into work on the weekends and I felt really overtired because I wasn't actually focusing on what was important to me. People start businesses also in the mindset of, I want to work towards my own dream. I have a bigger purpose and I know that I deserve more pay, and I deserve to be working for myself, whatever that means. Family time. Spending more time with my family is important to me. This is not for everybody. Again, I get that. But another reason why people start a side business, it doesn't have to be a full-time business straight away because there is that financial haircut. But it could be that they're working full-time and they miss out on that quality time with their family. And that is something you unfortunately cannot get back. So to take the time to do a business from home means that you do actually get that time with your family. And I'm not saying starting business is easier than working a full-time job that's set out for you. It's about you actually achieving your goals, not somebody else's. It's about you working towards your dream and not someone else's. And you don't have anybody there to tell you how to do it. You tell yourself how to do it. And I think that's a reason why it can be very intimidating for people to start businesses when they haven't had, you know, a mentor to talk them through what it's like, what to expect, because they're so used to working a job where they have a boss and other colleagues who tell them how to do stuff, who tell them what to expect and what the rules are, you know, policies and procedures laid out and guidelines. But if you're working for yourself, it's really up to you. You're the one who's going to praise yourself. You're the one who's going to encourage yourself, and you're the one who's going to fail or succeed. And it's all your responsibility. So that's what you've also got to take into consideration when you're starting a business, is that you are not going to have someone to wave that flag and cheer for you. You're going to be the one who cheers for yourself. And it could be there are days when nobody tells you that you've done a great job, and it's hard. So you have to be the one to tell yourself, I'm doing a great job and this is worth it. When you are getting yourself into this place of starting something new, everybody has a different story. Okay, some people think, all right, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to drop my full-time job and I'm going to go straight into starting a business. They either A, save up money to start the business and launch it, or they just know that, or have this huge belief that they're going to make money from this business sooner or later. Now, that does work for some people and it doesn't for others. So it really depends on you and your independence. When I left my full-time job, I expected my business to make me money in days, but it didn't. And on top of that, I actually had no idea what business I was going to get myself into. I went through a stage, and not many people talk about this, where I didn't think I was worth anything because I wasn't making money straight away. I felt like I was worthless, that I didn't know what I was doing, and I wondered why I was putting myself through all this stress, because I really did want to start a business, but I just didn't know how. During that time though, I was very much into self-enriching success books, all that sort of stuff, and you'll probably do that as well. Maybe through the time that you're working a full-time business or after it, there'll be a phase that you go through and you're just constantly researching success. How do I do it? How do I make it like the big people out there? What are they doing that I can do? And I remember, and this may be helpful for you as well, learning about the different people out there who are making mega millions, who are following their heart. You've got people like Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Grant Cardone, he's American, so it's probably Grant. Then Abraham Hicks, also known as Esther Hicks, Rhonda Byrne. These are people, Bob Proctor. These are people who started from nothing and they have grown into being well-known big companies, people who have followed their heart. And that's the thing with a business, is that sometimes we see those people and yes, they are great role models, but it doesn't mean that they made it overnight, because they didn't. It took time for them to get to that point of being successful. And the other thing I want to say is people have success in different ways. These people, they used the law of attraction, which is what I'm going to talk to you about in another video. I won't get into that today. They used the law of attraction to get to where they want to go. But their success is not going to be the same as yours. You also have to take time to figure out what you're really good at and what you love. Okay? Now, I know that there are people out there thinking, oh, but we've been taught for a long time. It's all about chasing your dreams and knowing that what you're doing is worth it. And I'm very lucky in that I have surrounded myself closely with people who know what I'm doing is what makes me happy. Can I also add that the people who don't want to see you succeed, it's not their fault. Don't blame them. It hurts. It doesn't feel good for a little while, because it could be, in my case, the people that didn't really feel happy about me doing what I'm doing now. I'm saying way back then. They've changed since then. But they need time to process what you're doing. And if they don't ever accept what you're doing, again, it's not their fault. It's just that they don't have what you have to move forward. And unfortunately, it's guts. It takes a lot of guts to change the way you do something. And change can be very scary for people. I used to work with somebody that was incredibly afraid of change, and I think that's why they loved having her at the job, at the workplace, because she couldn't change. And I was a threat to her because I love change. I love new things. I love learning, because that's my way of living a really great life, is knowing that change is good for me. Change is good for us. And people out there need to know that you're not going to stop succeeding because they don't vote for you or because they don't support you. You're going to keep going at it. This is the reason I'm doing this video, is because I want to let all of you know, it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, it doesn't matter what race, nationality, where you come from, what you do, who you are, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is you know what you love, and you're going to follow your heart no matter what anybody else says. You're not going to stop because someone turns around and tells you you're not good enough, or they tell you that I'm not supporting you, even though for a long time they used to. And see, that's the thing with my family. They were very supportive of me working in childcare because it was something that they understood. And the funny thing is, when I mentioned to them, like over time, I'm focusing on being a musician, I am writing a book, I am doing my own channel, they wanted to know a bit more. And then I realized I am doing what I love doing, and people do want to know about it. It's just that when you first start, they think it's funny or they think it's silly because they never got the chance to do that. And you get this sense of feeling sorry for them because they didn't make that effort. But don't feel sorry for them. Really, they've had so much time in their lives, they could have changed it around. All you can do is accept them for the way they are, and all they can do is accept you for the way you are. And you have to focus on loving yourself. You have to tell yourself every day, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, I can do this, doesn't matter how long it takes. That's the other thing, timing. People are afraid when they leave a full-time job or they start a business, they're so afraid of time. Like, if something is not done at a certain time, it's the end of the world. It's a big deal. And yet, it's an amazing thing to have, but I don't consider it to be precious. I think that we are given so much time in our lives, and we just need to keep enjoying it, really. We need to be grateful, just continuously grateful that we have time while we're alive. And when we're alive, rather than saying life is short, time is precious, turn it around and say, I have heaps of time. I have all the time in the world. I have so much time to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And then there's no rush. There's no feeling of desperation, stress, making you think that I'm on edge, I can't get it done. Yes, sometimes other people around you may want something done a little bit quicker than what you're used to. In that case, it's up to you really, whether or not you want to work within their time frame or you want to work within your time frame, and then you've got to tell yourself what's more stressful, doing what they want me to do or doing what I want to do. Because that's the other thing. People think that when someone quits something, it's a big deal. And you know what? I've quit so many things in my life. Am I feeling bad about it? No way. Because those were the things that weren't working for me at the time. I really got a lot out of the stuff that I did before I quit it. But when I quit it, the time was right for me. And that's okay. And I might pick it up later. See, that's the other thing. People don't think that after you quit something, you'll never go, they'll think you'll never get back to it. You won't pick it up again. Of course you will. Absolutely, of course you'll pick it up again, if that's what you want to do. The universe will make it work for you as long as you ask it, as long as you believe that you can have it. And I know I'm getting into the law of attraction here, but I know I said I was going to save it for another video. It comes in handy with mindset, self-belief, and success of having a business. Another thing, the fear of not making it. There are people out there who don't want to start a business or couldn't imagine starting a business because they think that once they start this thing, there's going to be so many problems involved that they'll just never make it. They look at someone out there who has made it and they think to themselves, I could never do that. You know, they were special. They had everything. So I can't do that. You know, that's not me. I'm not good enough for this. Making so many excuses that really hold them back. And I'm telling you now, you look at these people and you tell yourself, they did it, so can I. That's the attitude you want to have. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get what they had tomorrow or today, but you can have it. I watch YouTubers who are successful and I see them knowing that I can have exactly what they have and more, because I know that's my journey. This is what I want to do. This is what I love doing. And so by seeing other people who do incredible live videos having like thousands of views or viewers, subscribers, YouTube videos, lots of, again, viewers, subscribers, it's something that I can have as well. I know I can have it. However, I also know that it comes with challenges, and that is what I'm building myself up for every day. That's what I'm learning about who I am, is that not everybody out there wants to support me, and that's okay. But I will look and focus on the people who do want to support me, and that's what's going to keep me going, and that's why I have continued with my business. And I hope that those of you who have started continue yours, and those who are thinking about it actually make the effort to start, because starting is so brave, and that is where your dreams will come true.